You're a successful athlete and entrepreneur. So I wanted to have this conversation because it's very rare for someone to be elite in two things in their life. And you're relatively young. So for you to achieve both of those things at your age, I think it is very unique. You have a successful construction and trucking company. But prior to that, you played football.
Correct.
Before you even picked up a football, what was your life like?
I guess normal from what I know. I mean, I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois, and all my life, all I've ever done was be a student athlete and a student first. But I've always been an athlete, so I've always been an elite athlete at the highest level, I would think, and I've just been a cool guy. I mean, friendly, cool guy. I mean, I just always thought of myself as just a down-to-earth person, a humble person.
One thing I really find interesting about you is you grew up in East St. Louis at a time when it was potentially one of the more dangerous cities in America. Is that accurate?
Right. Still is.
Right. Still is. And you were able to focus on sports, school, and of course now business, but as a kid, sports and school. What do you think allowed you to have that focus? Was it your house growing up, your parents, maybe just the people you met along the way, your coaches?
Yeah, I think a collaboration of all. I mean, you can't grow up in the inner city community and not have, people around you who tell you what you want to hear and not tell you what you need to hear. Meaning the parents, the neighborhood, the neighborhood looked out for you. The neighborhood raised you. The women, the men, even the guys on the street who were drug dealers, they looked out for you. And when I say that, they knew that guys like me had potential to do other things than sell drugs, gang bang, things of that nature. So those guys, although to the outside world looked like they were, the worst people in the world, inside of my world, they were guys who looked out for people such as myself. And said, hey, man, you can do better than what I'm doing. And the elderly folk in the neighborhood, they made sure that, if they saw you doing something wrong, they checked you on it. It wasn't where people turned a blind eye and said, oh, well, just another little bad kid. We're going to let him do what he do, call the police on him. They were more so trying to make sure that guys like myself succeeded. And whatever success looked like to them, that's what it was.
So in your opinion, that sort of mentorship from older folks, from other older guys, whatever the case is important in environment for someone to grow up and be successful.
Any environment. I mean, it takes a village, to raise, the whole adage, it takes a village. It took a village. I mean, it wasn't just me. It was a lot of guys before me that were like me and a lot of guys after me who are going to be like me. And it's still going to take a village for them as well. I just feel like, if I can make it out of East St. Louis, I can make it anywhere. That's just my mentality on East St. Louis. It's one, like you said, it's one of the roughest places in America. So if I can make it out of there, I'm good anywhere.
Right. And I'm sure a lot of that translated to your confidence in other areas of your life. When you were playing football, I read somewhere that you were cut from your, I think, middle school team.
Right.
But when did you start playing and when did you know you were good?
Well, I just started playing in the neighborhood with the guys, and I was one of the youngest. My brother was older; he's 5 years older than I am. He's way better than I was. And when I was in 7th grade in junior high school, because in East St. Louis, elementary school started from 1st through the 6th, and junior high school started 7th through the 9th. So we didn't really, high school started 10th, 11th, 12th. So I went out for the junior high school team, kind of a little smaller, and I got releases in the NFL. I got cut, basically, from my junior high school football team. And so I went home, told my dad. He had my brother walk me back up there, and the coach figured out that I was Big Jeff's little brother, and from there it was all good. I mean, needless to say, I made the team, and the rest is pretty much history, as they say. So that's when I realized, I got to step my game up. So I stepped my game up. From there, did well in junior high school. Went to high school. Started after the first game as a freshman, no, sophomore, because sophomore, junior, senior in high school around here. And from there, just started getting accolades as far as, people in, the with the newspapers talking about me, saying how good they thought I was. And then all of a sudden I started getting national recognition as one of the top guys in the state, one of the top linebackers in the country. So needless to say, I made all these sports newspapers or magazines, and I think it's called Athlons back in the day, but they had me like one of the top 5 linebackers in the country and one of the top 10 players in the Midwest. So long story short, a lot of scholarship offers from a lot of schools. And, my brother went to the University of Miami at the time when they were really good. And he unfortunately did some things with some other players down there, got kicked out, came back home. And because I thought I was going to the University of Miami because my brother would have been a senior or a junior, or if he had left early. Either way, he went to the University of Miami. So that's why I thought I was going. Needless to say, my mom was like, nope, you stand close. He went far, you stand close. So it was like, I don't know if you've ever seen Risky Business where Tom Cruise slides across the floor.
I haven't, no.
Okay, you'll check
I'll check it out. Yeah.
So he slides across the floor and then says, well, I guess the University of Illinois for me. So that's what it was. So what I will say is it was I think the University of Illinois was the best choice that I've ever made in my life because it gave me an opportunity to understand how people who are like you help you, meaning, the alumni base is so large and so huge. And I mean, I think we're like 2 or 3 in the country as far as alumni bases. And the alumni base has helped me tremendously to be able to do things that I never thought I could do. I'm not saying that I didn't think, I just didn't, I was never put into position to believe that I could do the things that I'm doing, or what I should say. So it just gave me that opportunity to do things and to meet people and to understand that, there are people out here who will help you to get better. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned University of Miami. Is that in Ohio or Florida?
No, Hurricanes in Florida.
Okay.
University of Miami in Florida.
Because I think there's some sort of school in Ohio that's
Miami of Ohio. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that one always confuses me.
Right. That's all right. So yes, the U.S. the guys call it. So
okay.
My brother went to University of Miami and played for Jimmy Johnson and along with those guys. So he played in front behind Jerome Brown, but in front of Russell Maryland. So when I got drafted by the Cowboys, Michael Irvin and a couple other guys who went to University of Miami knew me because they knew I was Jeff's little brother. So again, from 7th grade being Jeff's little brother, getting on the team, to now playing in the NFL and knowing guys who know that I'm Jeff's little brother once again. So at the lowest of levels to the highest of levels, I was still Jeff's little brother. So it didn't matter.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
And your brother, did he follow your career when you were in the NFL? Like, was he playing as in pro sports at all at that time?
No. He, kind of, he hurt his knee after he left Miami. Things happened. Then he kind of, football was kind of out of his life. He just got a job and, he's just around the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But he's, to answer your question, yes, he followed my career and, like any brother, he would, tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Right. Yeah, which I'm sure you appreciated.
Yeah, no doubt. So, this is what family's supposed to do. They're not supposed to tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what you need to hear.
Right. Yeah. The hard truth.
That's right. The hard truth.
So for yourself, you mentioned playing early on and then eventually getting the accolades from publications,
right.
Becoming known as, was it the 5th best in the country at one point in your age and position?
It's kind of like the 5th. I mean, there was so many publications. I mean, you can read this one and believe this, and you can read that one and believe that. So
it's a little subjective.
Yeah, it depends on who you are, what state you're from and who you like. So all I know is they had me as one of the top kids in the nation. So I'll go with that.